What I'm wanting to know today is about the Arabic. How's that coming?
He talked with his team over there that are going to help with the distribution. Well, we can get the books up to the port, and once it gets from the port,
What other languages are going to be to do a project?
it does. There's going to be Arabic, and then also there's lots of. He said there's over 1 million Russian-speaking Jews. The Kurdish translation of Good and Evil is.
Okay, I've been working on my boat outside, but I'm going to come in and get an update from J.D. on the Good and Evil project. So Adam is going to follow us in so you can see what we do every day.
Hey.
All right, this is J.D. So J.D. is the one that handles our Good and Evil project. What I'm wanting to know today is about the Arabic. How's that coming?
Yeah, I talked to and he said that he talked with his team over there that are going to help with the distribution, and they were looking into the best storage facility. We can get the books up to the port, and once it gets from the port, they'll take it from there to their storage facility. And they said the ideal way for them to do it is if we just buy the shipping container, and they'll just set it there for a few months while the distribution's in progress. And they said it's very easy to resell them. So I told them we've done that before, and we'll just buy that. And you'd asked me to ask him what ratio of the 3 different languages we should print.
What other languages are going to be?
There's going to be Arabic, and then also there's lots of. He said there's over 1 million Russian-speaking Jews there in Israel, and so we're going to do some Russian and some Hebrew. And he said he's found the Russian-speaking Jews to be very, very open. So he recommended if we do 35,000 books total, and we do 10,000 of the Russian, 10,000 of the Hebrew, and 15,000 of the Arabic, and then see how that goes, and later in the year we can do more Arabic or whatever. But he said that he knows that they are open, and he's also working on finding the best ways to distribute the Arabic books, and he's working with a bunch of different churches over there and different groups, but some of them are in and around Gaza. He has some in Ashkelon, for example, and so they're going to specifically be targeting the Palestinian Arabs over there.
Okay. So whenever Gaza opens up, they'll be able to get them in?
Yes, he is actually going to go over there if it's possible for him to get into Israel, and his goal is to do the distribution, or at least help get the books, do some training of the people of the different churches, get the books distributed all around the country, and then that'll be right around the Easter season, which he said will probably be a very good time to be doing the outreach there. And so I asked the printer how quickly they can print the books, and he said that it'll take about it might take 4 weeks to get the paper from the mill and 3 weeks for them to complete the project, and then it's 3 or 4 weeks to actually deliver it there. So we should be able to get it there by the 1st of March.
All right. And so what other projects are we working on?
Yeah, we got the Kurdish translation of Good and Evil is totally done, and we just got it all formatted and sent it to the translator to check and make sure it looks good. And so he's like done the final proofing of it. So he's looking for connections with printers. He wants to publish it in Europe, where there's a lot of Kurdish refugees, but also in Kurdistan, Iraq, that region of the world where there's Kurdish-speaking people. So he's working on finding connections with printers that can help us do that. And in Pakistan, is printing some copies of the Gospel of Luke. He said that those are really helpful when he's handing the Good and Evil books out to people. And he was going to print some of the Gospel of John, but we talked about it, and I asked him if he needed New Testaments or Bibles, and he said actually that would be even better. So we're printing some of the Gospel of Luke, and then in a few months he'll have he's working on he's taking the best translation in Urdu of the New Testament and formatting that out so that he can get that printed, so that when people ask for books, right now he's buying Bibles like wholesale, and it's like $7 a piece, but we can print them for like $2 a piece. So he'll be able to have Bibles for the people that he's given the Good and Evil books to that are then wanting more.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Yeah. Did I tell you about how the other day told me about how he's getting books into? So we printed 10,000 books to go into Nepal. We printed them in India because we didn't have connections inside. There's a bunch of churches there that are going to distribute them, but it's kind of complicated to get stuff across the border. And so he said that he was kind of embarrassed to tell me this, but he said that the way that he was getting some of them across the border is there's these shipments of like all that kind of stuff, and so they wrap the books up in waterproof tarp and stick them underneath of the load of. That's how they're able to sneak them across the border.
Okay, I think we need to go back and bleep his name.
We're gonna take this part out. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna bleep his name so they won't know.
Yeah. And then another translation is.
Takes a lot to do a project.
It does. I told him that was great, but he was kind of embarrassed to say like what they're doing with the books, and I was like, keep going, that's great. Another translation is Bambara that they just did over in Mali. We printed 10,000 books over there last year in French that they distributed, but some of the villages they're not as fluent in French, so they translated into Bambara, which is like the local language, and we're hoping later this year to print another 10,000 books, maybe 5,000 French that'll go to Burkina Faso, which is the next country over, and then 5,000 for them to distribute that are Bambara for them to distribute in Mali. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's.
So we've been working with Shad in Africa. How many different languages are we?
He's mostly just using English, and we sent him 20,000 books a couple months ago, and they did make it there, and we bought that container so they could just rent a slab or buy a slab to set it on. And so they have those, and they said that it's really helpful for them to have those, because when they're going to different schools and trying to book an event, if they show them, hey, we're going to also give you some of these books to put in your library, then it helps them to do that process. And they also have been putting them into libraries over there and into orphanage libraries and things like that. So they've been using them very efficiently and effectively.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think I told you on next Tuesday we got 13,000 books coming here that we gotta unload.
All right, mind me, make sure I'm around. I don't run to town to buy groceries or something.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's just a little bit of what goes on here at No Greater Joy. It's thrilling to be part of something that's this big and reaching literally millions of people. This is just the printed. Our online ministry of good and evil is a whole lot bigger than this. So I'm going to go back to working on my boat while these guys keep the gospel going to the whole world.